Hey lovies, this is Michelle here at Life Mantra Tarot. I hope that you guys are doing great. Happy Sunday. I hope that you guys had a great weekend and are continuing to have a nice weekend. Getting ready for the work week and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I hope it's been treating you well. I'm a little bit tired, but felt inclined to go on. You guys, I know I usually don't go on Sundays. I'm usually too tired when I get out of work, but I was like, you know what? Why not? I felt inclined to do so. So we're just gonna do a very general message tonight and see what's going on, what you guys need to know. Um, and yes, if you're new to the channel and haven't been here before, welcome. I hope you like what you see here and decide to stick around. Um, and yeah, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you've been rocking with your girl for a bit already, welcome back and thank you for the continued support. Greatly appreciate you guys. We had a very successful evening last night when we did some free readings. I read for almost 5 hours, and that was pretty fun. Hey Jean, how are you, my love? Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to start getting into the groove of doing those again. So it felt really good to do that last night. Hi, Deaf Player. How are you? Um, he said, "Hey, greetings, stranger." um, this is tarot readings. I'm not sure if that's your thing or not, but that's what we're doing here. If you feel so inclined to stay, you can. So, nonetheless, as I mentioned already, this is going to be just a general collective message just to see what's going on, see what you guys need to know, and kind of go from there. So let's get started. I've already cleansed the space and myself. I have a few decks that I felt drawn to get started with, and then we're just going to kind of go from there. So I think we're going to start with the Ascending Life Oracle. Go. Let's see. All right, so when I split the deck, we have contracts in the reverse. We also have coldness. Interesting. So there could be some type of endings happening for some of you. It says important legal matters, agreement between two parties, making something official in applications and signatures. And we have coldness. It says absence of love. Love life is blocked, frozen in some area of your life, and emotions buried deep within. So I am kind of getting this energy of maybe severing ties with somebody and being closed off to that person and that energy. I'm getting something along those lines. We're going to dive deeper and see what's going on. Keep in mind this is a general message, so it's going to be different for everybody. Let's see. Let's get the clearest and most accurate messages, please, and thank you for the collective. And these ties that might be severed are going, it's looking different. It looks like for some it might be romantically, and others it could be like work related. Let's see. You're deep in thought about it. There could be some anxiety about it or fear. The moon is here on the bottom. It says, listen to your intuition, intense emotions, deception, hidden truth, and proceed with caution. So maybe you found out something about a person that you were going to work with or that you were dealing with. We have luck on the top. Good fortune, positive change, fulfilled wishes, and unexpected happiness. I like that. And celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate. Parties, social events, happy outcome, group events, socializing, and going out more. I'm kind of getting like this energy of like whatever this is or was, it's not a real loss, is what I'm picking up on. Like whatever this was, you're realizing that you got out of it. You dodged a bullet basically, and there's going to actually be something worth celebrating coming out of it. That's what I'm kind of picking up on. All right, let's pull a few cards from here, and then we're going to dive deeper, see what else is going on that you guys need to know. celebration. I'm also getting like some of you guys might take life way too seriously. And need to get out the fucking house. Go out and have a good time. Have some fun with your friends or something. I'm getting something like that. Going to concerts and stuff, especially with the weather, changing and, summer's approaching. Get out and have a good time. Do something with, people who you enjoy being with. All right, we have marriage. I have two cards that came out. Marriage. Attracting a long-term partner. Marriage life, attracted to a married person. New partner may be divorced. Along with delays. Ren, dude, really? You always pick the worst time to go doing like the most random things, I swear. Right. Is she scratching the scratch posting like really? Right now? Frustrated by slow results. Any pace is a good pace. Patience and perseverance. You can't rush the process. So, for those of you who are resonating with this being about love, perhaps there's a standstill when it comes to that area with a particular person because you realize that that person might have been deceptive or something like that. We have bridge on the bottom of the deck. Another phase of life transition. Need to find common ground. Bridge the gap. Hey Joyce. Hey Charlie. The devil. Addiction, problems, excess, obsession, dependency, materialism, bad financial habits, and shadow self. So I'm getting that for some of you. Only take the messages if they resonate. Again, I was getting that energy of kind of dodged a bullet because maybe you're moving on past that situation or person because you realize that they had a lot of toxic traits and you're like, yeah, no, no. And there might be some sadness associated with it and disappointments. We have sadness here, says disappointment, regret, depression, and unwelcome change. It might not have been the way you wanted it to go, but it might have been the thing that was necessary. I'm also kind of getting like that energy might have ended up slowing you down when it comes to your progress just in general in your life. So, for some of you, this could be something that's happening like right now or just happened. It could be incoming or it could have happened a while back, but it's like kind of still prominent in your life in some way. I'm also picking up on if it's not an actual like marriage, it could be just talking about really important partnerships. We did talk about like possibly like business partnerships, work related things. Let me know if any of this resonates yet. Tell us more. What we got here? Oof. All right, evil eye. I'm definitely gonna cleanse after I do this shit. You are protected. Cleanse and protect your energy. Jealous people nearby and careful who you trust. Yeah, it's definitely given like you trusted somebody who was not trustworthy. And now you realize that, wow, that person was a piece of shit. It's definitely given like, just, it's not sitting well in my stomach kind of thing. It's giving me really bad vibes. I don't like it. Yeah, snake. This person was deceptive. Time of healing, shadowed skin, secret knowledge, jealousy, and envy. This person was a fucking snake. And now after you've learned what you needed to learn, you're kind of shedding, right? You're doing your shadow work. You're working on yourself. Single life, living your best single life, working on yourself, becoming more self-reliant, not settling for a bad match here on the top. Yeah, you definitely dodged a bullet on this one. For those of you who resonate with this. We have clean up in the middle of the deck. It says sweeping away negative situations, cleaning up your life, decluttering your mind, and simplifying your life. So yeah, definitely getting rid of the toxicity. Keep in mind, this is coming different forms for different people. We're definitely picking up mostly on it being a possible love connection, past love connection. But depending on where you where you are. Hey Lollipop, what's up? Depending on where you are in your journey and whatnot, It look different for everybody. But I think all of us can resonate with at least the idea of meeting people in our lives who we thought, whether it's romantically or not, that we thought things were, one way. They portrayed themselves as something, and then you realize that they're not what you thought they were. You realize a work situation isn't what you thought it was going to be, so on and so forth. And we have three cards that came out together. We have travel. It says long distance travel, waiting to escape, a new adventure, a journey to the next level. So it's kind of giving this energy of you've been moving on. Some of you guys might physically have moved. Others, you might be getting ready to travel soon. Round and round. Some of you guys, yeah, between moving and traveling, that's a big thing. Getting, it could just be figuratively too, like you just moved on from this situation. But yes, you learned. There was a lesson that had to be learned. We have round and round. It says not applying lessons learned, unhealthy patterns on repeat, unable to let go of the past, repeating an old story. But I do feel like you guys are rising above that, right? With these coming out together, there could have been something that you kind of kept on just looping, like over and over, doing it over and over, and it came out with contracts, right, in the reverse. So there was a contract that needed to be closed out, and I'm getting that it was hard to close this contract out. This wasn't something, easy to, rid yourself of. I feel like you had to really put in the effort. I think once you really started seeing the situation or the person for what it was, it allowed for you to, do this with a little bit more simplicity, but it did take time to get there. Yeah. See, like I said before, for some of you it was work related. We have teamwork on the bottom of the deck. So depending on, where you're at in the story, we got two different things going on here. A partnership to complete a goal. Someone will come to your aid, expanding your network and delegating tasks. So it was a bad match when it came to, work related things and dating. See, like I said, there's two different storylines going on. Being open to love, seeing somebody specific, going on more dates, and feeling good and flirting. And burnt out. Having too many irons in the fire, not taking care of yourself, lack of control, all work and no life. Remember I said that I'm getting, some of you guys might need to go and have fun, feel burnt out, whether it's because of a past, I'm getting situationship, honestly, or something work related, feeling burnt out. You're like, I need to release this shit. And yeah, let your hair down, have fun, go do something that helps you, take your mind off of it a little bit. Let's get two more from here. Staying, in the house and, dwelling upon it isn't going to help or change anything. Once you start seeing things for what it is, take those rose-colored lenses off. It is what it is. We live and we learn. Dating is here, officially on the spread. You saw that card already, and I read it already, literally just a moment ago. Yeah, we live and we learn with trial and error here on the bottom, right? Experimenting with your life, inexperienced in a job or a situation, willingness to try new things, exploring all possibilities. So, it's a learning process. It's going to take time to get the answers. Mystery reaches its resolution, having answers and clarity. And I said something about clarity just a moment ago. Problems will be resolved and closure from the past. Yeah, closing out a cycle. Closing it out. Yeah. Have feeling alienated in your life. Feeling like it's funny, I almost was going to say something in the beginning of the reading that I felt an energy of people maybe feeling alienated or isolated. I was just feeling that for some reason, and now we have this. But let me just read the card. Sorry. Feeling alienated in life, feeling like you don't fit in, dealings with a foreigner, and new experiences in life. When you're on this new journey, it's gonna feel pretty lonesome sometimes. Hi, Ren. Hi. What's up, Mama? But this is something that you're going to have to, overcome. And it's going to be something that you're kind of going to have to do on your own. We have 4 cards that came out. Wow. Right, we have burnout again, and we already talked about burnout. We also have abundance. Nice. It says your arrival to abundance, financial blessings, rewards for your efforts, money flows easily into your life. And remember, abundance, it comes in different forms. I don't think it's just financial, right? It could just be, after, all of the shit that you clearly have gone through, um, and learning the lessons that needed to be learned, you're going to be on the receiving end of your good karma, your dharma. That's what I'm picking up on. You have purpose here. Doing the soul work, looking for meaning in life, discovering your life purpose, and going on a spiritual journey. We also have chaos. This is after this period of bullshit, basically. Difficult experiences, heavy burdens test your strength. Unpredictable events and opposing forces. So, yes, there was all these things that were happening in your life, you know. However, you got through the bullshit. You saw through the nonsense, and you picked yourself. You chose yourself. Despite the delays and all those different things, and despite the lessons that had to be continuously learned, you finally saw what you needed to see to get past it. You should give yourself some credit. Give yourself some grace. You have happiness on the bottom, feeling happy about your life, an incident that made you happy, a smoother ride through life, feeling on top of the world. This is what you're, aspiring to have. Leadership. Some of you, especially when it comes to the work stuff we were just talking about, you're meant to be a leader, and maybe you didn't have those opportunities where you were before, and now you're going to be able to step into that and really, hone in on your your core strengths, right? Yeah. I am picking up on somebody who's been working on their resume or just thinking about working on their resume. Um, so that might, something like that might resonate for somebody. If you've been getting ready to look into a new job and you're like, I'm tired of this fucking place. um, Work on that resume, especially if you're meant to, do something more. It says high influence in business, stepping into a leadership role. You know your value and your self-worth, using logic over emotions. Stepping the fuck up, bossing up. You ain't playing those no more games. I'm also getting some of you guys might either have fire in your chart in general, or I'm mostly picking up on Aries. Let me know in the comments if that resonates. You have brick wall here, unsurmountable obstacle, blocked for your highest good, not able to make progress, time to do things different. So, there was a lot of, blockages, or the word impasse. Um, there was like an impasse where it just seemed like you couldn't get past a certain point in your life. Everything just felt stuck. And the reason why was because you were still learning some lessons. And now that the lessons are being learned, or have been learned, you're able to move forward. Is what I'm picking up on. All right, so we're gonna look at another deck. We're gonna get I'm getting like maybe 3 to 4 cards from here, and then we're gonna look into the tarot and kind of go from there. See what Spirit has to say. Okay, so let's get some more messages for the collective. Let's get like 3 or 4 more cards, and then we're gonna look into the tarot. Share some most accurate messages, please, and thank you, Spirit. Yes. Where there were limits before, those limits, they're not there anymore. We have stars in the sky, limitless possibility. Yep, no more limits. You're way more than capable of so many more things than what you give yourself credit for. Mindful, group think. I'm getting that you might, especially with that leadership stuff we were just talking about, like you might be able to really lead people and help them when it comes to, group centered things, group dynamics, getting something like that. Will of the Wisp, it says treasures hidden in the shadows. Yeah, sometimes you don't understand what's happening, in the moment, but then, all those blockages that, are there, we're like, oh shit, that was, God's, protection that whole time, you know. when like when things just keep seeming like they're going wrong. Prime example. You know, you're like, damn, every time I'm trying to do this, then something else happens, blah blah. And then you realize later, like, oh, all of a sudden things just like look up and you're just like, didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. And it's like, it's because there was something that you were meant to learn in the process. So once those lessons are learned, that's when that that blockage is lifted. That roadblock is lifted. You don't have to take a detour or nothing. It's opened up for you. But I'm gonna say we have to learn our lessons, right? We can't keep on repeating the same shit over and over and over again. We have to learn, close out those old contracts, right? Soul contracts and shit like that to move forward. All right, we have lay of the land, ancestral wisdom here. So it is giving me, you know, I heard the word triumph. Some of you guys might be Earth, Wind, and Fire fans. Let me know in the comments. I don't know where that came from, but I just picked up on Earth, Wind, and Fire for some reason. I also just picked up on the Jacksons. You might be fans of either or. But, you know, for those of you who believe in like ancestor guidance and things like that, your ancestors have also been protecting you and helping guide you along the way. Yeah. As I say, helping you and, leading you along the way. What's on the bottom of the deck? It says lost in space and needing direction. They're directing you and guiding you. Hey country, what's up? How you doing? We have a tidy house, clarity and organization. We talked about clarity a moment ago. Like this energy of just clearing everything out, right? Decluttering your mind, decluttering your way of doing things. I already said your mind, so that means obviously your way of thinking, the way you do things, the things around you, not just physical things, but the situations that you're in as well. A little bit of all of those things. Feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. Yes, it's important to know that every choice that we make, it has a consequence. So when we're staying stuck in situations and doing the same shit over and over again, the consequence is going to be bullshit. So, pick your poison essentially, All right, so let's get, so I've got like 3 more cards from here. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. Forgive yourself, for, the role that you played in some of the things that have happened in your life, right? We take accountability, but we don't beat ourselves up about it. Beating yourself up and taking accountability are 2 very, very different things. Give yourself grace, but also give grace to the people who, have done some bullshit. You know what I mean? Because when you stay in that stuck ass energy of, resentment and all of that, you're not helping anyone, including yourself. You're not helping anybody. So you're not forgiving for them. You're forgiving for you, so that you can, take that negative, stagnant ass energy off of you and move forward. So keep that in mind. I know it's one of those easier said than done kind of things when people do bullshit to you and they hurt you, especially when they know what they're doing. Like, it puts you in a position where it's like, do I want to forgive this person, or do I want to just, remain angry? Being angry, resentful, any of those things, like, it's not gonna change anything. What happened has happened. Move forward. That's actually sometimes the best karma for that other person. As I say karma, there's 6 people and 5 likes, 11. Sometimes that's the best karma. Seeing another person that you've hurt or did some bullshit to, them moving forward past you and living their best life without you in it. That's usually one of the best forms of karma there is. So, whether it's a shitty coworker who tried to take your promotion, this is what I'm hearing, a shitty coworker who tried to take your promotion or something, or a shitty boss, or a shitty, romantic partner, a fake ass friend, fake ass family members, like, whatever the case. You know, you are being called to forgive. Bottom of the deck we have, oh wow, number 11 here again. Talking about that 11, huh? Deep quiet, meditation and stillness. Yeah, take a moment to just breathe. Yep, let it all out. You know, do some journaling. Journaling is a good method to just kind of release. Resourcefulness. It says horned cactus, resourcefulness. Wow, 11 is here again. You might be seeing the number 11 a lot. Let me know in the comments if that resonates. Feast of plenty, choices and their consequences. It's here again. Yeah, something about that number 11 showed up, what, 3 times? Let's see. Let's get 2 more from here, Spirit. Something did try to come up. I don't know what it was. Thank you. Sky dancers, surrender. Surrendering control, letting go, right? Letting go of anger and resentment, letting go of old toxicities, stubbornness, I just heard. Everyone knows I'm stubborn as hell. Yeah, definitely surrendering control. Letting the Most High help guide you. Yeah. The crossing, initiation, that's like the Fool energy. Unmarked trail, revelation. You had to learn something. That allowed for you to surrender and let go and embark on a new journey moving forward. Caterpillar, opportunity. New opportunities are about to open up because you've allowed for whatever this situation or these people were to be removed from your life. Yes. 2 cards that came out. So damn, that number 11 just keeps coming out. Many masks. The authentic self. You're about to start really becoming who you really are, your true self. You've been wearing a mask for a very long time, pretending that things are okay in your life when they weren't. You know, acting like you're happy when you're not. Getting something like that. Faking the funk. And realizing, you know what, I can't, if like I could sit here and wear a mask for the rest of the world, but I can't wear a mask for myself. I have to sit with this person every single day. When I come home and I take that mask off, I have to sit with this person. Why am I going to sit there and keep lying to my own self? That's what I'm picking up on. It came out along with falling angel, spiritual narcolepsy. You know, this wearing the fake mask and acting like things were okay and all that bullshit and realizing that it wasn't. Accepting things for what it really is. You know, there was a point in time where things were so stuck, even like, you know, in your sense of like spirituality, or, you know, feeling a sense of closeness to source and spirit and God, whatever you believe in. Like, even that might have started to feel like it was starting to be faltering because of the fact that you were stuck not being your true self. The more that you step into your true self, who you really are, the more that you're able to connect, not with just your most higher self or highest self, but the most high outside of you as well. Yeah, we have what's inside? Dancing on one foot, balancing act. Yeah, teeter-totter is what I just heard. Teeter-tottering back and forth because you're so focused on, you know, making sure can't crack, can't let anybody see this part of me. Hiding from yourself, even. Benefactor. Then I say give yourself some grace. Grace and generosity is here. Yeah. Caterpillar is here again. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities about to present themselves because of the fact that you've been working on this. And, you know, you should definitely give yourself some credit for what you're doing, because this was not an easy task, right? To be able to move on. Yeah, because the same cards that, you know, when I split the deck, these were the cards that were there. And then I started shuffling. They're here still. The Two of Cups, which, again, partnerships. And Knight of Swords, which is about seizing new opportunities. So, yeah. All right, so we're going to do, getting like just a quick little 3-card spread, nothing crazy. I think we got a pretty good synopsis of what was going on for a lot of you guys if you resonate with this reading. Um, we're just gonna kind of go from there. And then we'll do some affirmations and some angel answers, and that'll be the end of the reading. I guess this was a quick, simple reading. I gotta go to sleep anyways. So kind of works out that it's not like that many people or anything watching. Because like, then that would make me want to keep going and keep reading for like super long. But it allows me to keep it quick and short and simple. So hopefully this message reaches the right person that's meant to reach. Alright, I think that's it. Six of Cups. The thing of the past. Could have had something to do with a family dynamic for some. Ten of Cups is here on the top. And remember, we did mention marriage or serious commitments earlier. The World here in the middle. Closure, endings, successful completion. Alright, so let's get a little 3-card spread on. Let's get recent, past, current, and incoming or likely outcome. Thank you. Temperance. So we have the Temperance here. That is the recent past. I think you guys have just been trying to figure out, you know, how to find a sense of peace and harmony and balance in your life. Like, just knowing, like, there were things happening that were just not what it was cracked up to be, you know, causing delays in your life, causing a sense of stagnation and, you know, causing you to feel off center and off balance, feeling like you're just not yourself, you know, a lot of chaos. And you knew that once you surrendered control and surrendered the things that no longer were serving you, you were able to welcome in this sense of peace and balance in your life. Yeah, a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights, worrying about other situations and people. Yadahu. Hi, Yadahu. How are you? That's a new name. I don't think I've seen your name on here before. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. We have the Magician here. Yeah, just trying to manifest change is what I'm getting. Yeah. Page of Cups. Somebody might have came in with like a bullshit ass excuse or apology or something with that Page of Cups in the middle of the deck, or a very small love offer, gesture type of thing. I'm getting an apology, and you knew it was bullshit. I'm picking up on something like that. Tell us more. What's going on currently? So we have 3 cards. Yeah. Ooh, wow. Okay, yeah, we have 3 cards. I like this. So the 3 cards that came out, really good ones. We have the Ace of Wands here. Nice. Passionate new beginnings, right? Hey, Show Empathy. How you doing, my love? We have the Ace of Swords, which is a breakthrough, right? We talked about clarity more than once. I think we mentioned like a sense of clarity about 3 or 4 times throughout this reading. I'm pretty good. I'm just tired. Work was work was work. So usually I don't go on Sundays, so this is kind of different for me. Usually by now I'm already like, sometimes I fall asleep at like 7:30, really shortly after I get home from work. I get caught up on a show and watch half of a show and fall asleep on the couch. That's usually how my Sundays go. So the fact that I'm still up, I'm actually shocked. I felt inclined to read, so here we are. But yeah, there's this breakthrough energy, right? A lot of nice things about to start happening because of you seeking out, finding that peace and harmony and balance in your life. You distance yourself from all the bullshit. 3 of Wands here, and I'm also getting the sense of like planning and foresight. Also waiting for your ships to sail in, right? Remember I was saying like you're waiting for new opportunities, to present themselves after a series of a bunch of nonsense, right? That you had to kind of, learn some lessons from. And now this is allowing for that new stuff to come through. Yeah, it's been a long time coming for some. But because of the hard work that you've put into yourself and into removing yourself and closing this cycle out, like I said, we got 2 different narratives going on. The main narratives is the ending of a bad relationship, toxic relationship, and for others it's work related. So some of you might resonate with both aspects, some of you might resonate with just one. Um, but nonetheless, you can still apply it in different areas of your life, and just knowing, like, when enough is enough, right? When you realize, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I'm tired. you know. So I think that some of you guys might have just started to feel really wary of when it comes to the things that were happening. But now that you've allowed yourself, or you're about to allow yourself, depending on where you are in your journey, you're about to allow yourself to fully immerse into yourself, your own happiness. I like that. Very intuitive. You have a deep inner knowing of what it is that you're meant to do right now, what you're being called to do. You might sometimes feel somewhat restricted or in your head a lot, but get out of there. Don't stay stuck there. That's not a good place to be, especially for those of us who have anxiety. No, thank you. Yeah, close that shit out. Thank you. Close that out. Right? When we get stuck in there, it keeps us, bound to things that we don't need to be bound to. So that's one of the things that's probably closing for some of you too. Is your own self delusions and things like that. That's what I'm picking up on. All right, so let's see. What is the likely outcome? Got 2 cards out. Move in silence. Because, not everybody has your best interest, right? 7 of Swords is here, but it came out with the Queen of Pentacles. So I do feel like you guys are about to really be on the up and up in your life, heading in a great direction. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody with a lot of substance. She's got her shit going on for herself. And, you know, she's a go-getter. And her money's right. She looking good. She's sitting high on that damn throne. She ain't worried about nobody. I feel like she's one of the closest, in my personal opinion, to the actual Empress. Because remember, the Empress embodies all of the queens. But I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is probably the closest, in my opinion, to the the Empress, because she's someone who's generous and caring and giving, but she's also very like nonsensical too at the same time. She's abundant all by herself. She's got her shit on. So yeah, moving in silence is going to be important, because there are people who still might try to spin the block, or try to, change the narrative, try to get you in here, get you stuck in your fucking head, yeah, causing you more burdens again. No thank you. 10 of Wands, you don't want to go backwards, right? You want to go forward so you can have this success and victory with this 6 of Wands. Yeah. So when people try to come in with their nonsense, because they will try, Knight of Wands, trying to, be opportunists and get from you, take from you. Don't let it happen. Any last cards or messages from the Tarot Spirit? Anything else from here? Thank you. Yeah, working on yourself, working hard, perfecting your crafts, really, really getting stable. I like this. I like this a lot. I am getting, for those of you who resonate with this being about love, this might be a time to take a little bit of a break from dating. If you do decide to date, maybe date casually. I'm not saying go fucking everybody, but what I'm saying is like make sure I, word this the right way. Like, again, have fun. Do your thing, but like just be responsible. Don't go just spreading your legs, or, poking your little wee into everything and anyone that has, a pulse. Like, no, we're not saying go out there hoeing. We're just saying it's okay to, have companionship and have fun, as long as you're honest about it, like what your intentions are and stuff like that. You're not lying about what your intentions are. Like, don't go, stringing people along, that kind of thing. But I would suggest, just based on what I'm seeing here, this might be a time to kind of lay low. Allow yourself to heal, because you don't want to bleed onto somebody who didn't cut you, is what I just heard. don't shoot the messenger. We have the moon here. So, there could be some type of anxieties or fears associated with something work related, career wise. But Spirit is saying it's okay to have fears. Just don't stay in that energy. Allow yourself to, really go after what it is that you want. Even if it's like the beginning stages of something, it's okay. Like, you have to start somewhere, right? Like, let's say you want to start a business, like, it takes time, right? It takes patience. So, give yourself that grace. Do some research. I'm getting to, yeah, as I say, do some research. The hermit's about somebody who's like isolated and to themselves. They're constantly studying something. Like, they're to themselves, but they're productive at the same time. You know, doing some inner work and things like that as well, some shadow work. So yeah, I'm getting definitely this is a time to focus on self and some self realization, self actualization, introspection, retrospection, um, looking at all those different dynamics when it comes to how you pursue these next phases in your life is what I'm feeling right now, what I'm picking up. And then I just say something about being patient with yourself. Wow. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Exactly. I think there was a divine timing card that showed up, wasn't there? It's probably one of those cards that it showed up, but it's not like on the spread. I hate when that happens because then I sound like a liar unless you watched it from the beginning. But divine timing did show up. Yeah, some people might be envious of you. Fuck them. And your abundance. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, because we did get that energy of just being mindful of, how people come back in your life if they try to, what are your real intentions, right? If they showed you who they were before, trust. This might be somebody who you might grieve them a little bit. You might miss them, but yeah. You might also have some doubts about, certain areas of your life or where you're headed. Yeah. Work on that self-esteem, right? Your confidence. Let's get a couple more shuffles, and then we're going to pull 3 cards from here. Happiness, yes, yes, yes. So we have happiness come out in another deck as well. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Absolutely. You deserve to be happy. And then I say that sometimes you might feel a little bit lonely and isolated. I said that earlier. I know that I am never alone. You have your guides. You have the Most High helping you. Rely on them. I knew that was going to show up. I just knew it. I release the need to know all the answers here in the middle of the deck. We don't know everything, and we're never going to know everything. So you just have to have faith, trust in the unknown, and, go from there. Scary, right? That's why we're talking about surrendering control and how scary that can be. But it will be fine. It will work out for the best, trust. It's going to allow for some growth. I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. Yeah, and that comes with endings, right? Death. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. Exactly. Growth begins where comfort ends. Remember that. Growth begins where comfort ends. That went over somebody's head in my friend list on Facebook. They were like, "You're gonna have to help me out with this one," and I was like, I wanted to be really sarcastic and say, "It's only for some people to know. Only the wise will understand." But I just didn't comment at all. Let him figure out for himself. Happiness is here again, though. One more from here, Spirit. 444 when I looked up. 444. That means you're on the right path, guys. Blame. Shift the blame. Don't beat yourself up. We talked about this. I accept responsibility for my well-being. Yes, accepting responsibility is one thing, but blaming, shifting blame, putting all the blame on yourself or beating yourself up for your, mistakes, that's not fair to you. So just be, yeah, forgiveness. Thank you, Spirit. So be forgiving, right? Show yourself grace. I'm ready to say all these things and what's on the bottom of the deck. Forgiveness. We talked about that a little while ago. I acknowledge that harboring resentment, I said this earlier, blocks the flow of love. Come on now, Spirit. How is that for some closing message? We already saw all this stuff. We have purpose here, so we have purpose here twice. Yeah, purpose showed up earlier too in the first deck. So we have it here again. I know what I'm here to do. So now it's time to step into it. And like I said, sometimes it might feel lonely being on this path, right? This path of growth, because you have to do it by yourself. You can't really. I mean, you could rely on people sometimes, but this is essentially it's a solo project. You do have your guides that will help you along the way. I think that's why I felt drawn to the Angel Answers deck. So let's see what they have to say. All right. Last messages for the collective. What does the collective need to know to close out this message? We'll be all done. Thinking like maybe 3 cards from here should suffice. I see forgiveness again. I thought I saw forgiveness. Well, there's abundance and success. Nice. There is a forgiveness card in this deck. No need to worry. Yes. Don't be in your head. Don't stay stuck in there. Perfect timing. Going back to like divine timing, right? Everything's about to line up exactly where it's supposed to happen, how it's supposed to happen. Big happy changes. I love that. All right, so let's get like 3 cards, Spirit, to close out. Thank you guys for tapping in. Hopefully you received a message out of this reading that was helpful for you, even if it wasn't exactly your narrative, but still something could have stuck out to you and been helpful. That's what I'm hoping. We have in the near future, so something might happen soon for you guys when it comes to either maybe the situation that we saw kind of, or these situations. It says 2 different narratives going on here. Maybe something will happen within a very short period of time, like very, very soon. For some of you, it might have been like super, I know it says in the future, but I'm also getting like this could have been recent past for someone too. Let me know in the comments if it resonates at all. Get more information. Remember I said something about studying, doing some research about something. Look for a sign. Look for a sign from, your spirit guides and things like that. Something could also happen within the next few months. All right. So let's get a couple more from here for the collective. Abundance is here again. Abundance, yes. So we have abundance that showed up in pretty much all the reading. I mean, all the decks, right? Abundance showed up in pretty much all the different decks I've read from in different forms, but I think almost all of them had the word like actual abundance. So I like that. Yeah, abundance is here. Yeah, nice. Yeah, but you have to let go. You gotta release, and it's okay to, take your time, right? It says wait. It's giving me temper yourself. It's giving me, that's probably why temperance came out earlier too, right? That's about patience. We saw a patience card show up before in the other deck. So like, being patient while all this is, transpiring, right? Yeah, remain positive throughout the process. Smoothing you know, smooth, steady, you know, take your time, allow things to just unfold. Sometimes part of the joy is the mystery behind everything that unfolds. You know, a lot of us want that instant gratification, but sometimes there's something about, you know, the unknown, right? And embracing it. There's something better, yeah. Whether it's a different job, a different, you know, partner, whatever the case, right? There's always something, there could always be something better when you've experienced the stuff that we've seen throughout this reading. Hey, sister slash Soully slash bestie, love you, girl. Check my girl out, the Phoenix Priestess. Check her out. She's an amazing person, amazing reader. You will not be disappointed. She does some really awesome readings. I'm very proud of her for what she's been doing, kicking ass on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. So yeah, definitely check my girl out. Yes, opportunity. Opportunity has showed up in another deck too, didn't it? It definitely did, but I think it was one of those cards that again kind of it showed up, but it wasn't like in the main spread. I hate when that happens. But yes, opportunities are about to come in, right? I'm hearing the word like windfall. You know, abundance comes in different forms, as I mentioned earlier, and I feel like by surrendering and releasing the things that no longer serve, you're welcoming in what does. And there's just gonna be like as you make room, you're just gonna be making room for some. Remember we saw the cleanup card, right? It's giving me like clean it up with orbits. Dirty mouth, clean it up with orbits. You guys remember that commercial back in the day? Um, but yeah, it's like, you know, when you make space and make room for what it is that, you know, is being divinely like orchestrated, right? It's being given to you if you accept it. You know, accept the help from the Most High, accept the blessings from the Most High. They're trying, you know, they want to guide you, but you have to listen. Or you're going to continue to stay stuck in that loop, that round and round and round bullshit. Where's that card? Right? Round and round. We're, you know, loop-de-loop, just doing the same shit over and over again. Same shit, different day. Close out that contract. Close it out. It's dead. It's over. It's done. One more from here, Spirit. Excuse me. No. They're like all that nonsense that you was trying to hold on to. No. Big fat fucking no. With an exclamation point, mind you. There's a no without one and there's the no with one. They're like absolutely fucking not. Why are you holding on to this bullshit? Why are you holding on to this soul contract that you need to let go of? It's dead. It's done. It's over. Ask for help from others. Remember, I was saying like a lot of this journey is going to be your journey to handle by yourself. But, you know, you could definitely always reach out to, you know, your loved ones, people who you trust, like-minded individuals who can help you along the way. The Most High, your ancestors, your guides, right? They can help you too. Yeah, might want to reconsider some shit. Because, as Ray said, there's something better. And that's going to be what's going to lead you to a big fat yes. Big fat yes. And you're going to be like, whoa. It's going to feel like the skies are just like opening, like, oh my God, what is this? Like, I literally can like see it. Like, it's just going to be like this, just like, this is giving me like this weight lifted off your shoulders, right? That metaphysical weight that you carry. Some of you guys actually might literally have like back and shoulder problems because you've been carrying so much. When I say carrying, I don't mean physical weight. I mean like just carrying so much that's been weighing you down energetically, you know, and then mentally too. It's time to let go. It's time to release. So with that said, guys, as we saw in this reading, you know, there have been delays, right? But it's because of this round and round, you know, loop-de-loop kind of bullshit, right? This lesson that needs to, or lessons for some, that need to be learned. Closing out these soul contracts and things like that. Gotta close it out. Whether it's a failed relationship that's going absolutely nowhere, or a dead end job, whatever the case. Fake friends, shitty coworkers, shitty family. It depends on where you are. Everybody's going through different things. But the main thing is always like definitely like past love or work related. Nonetheless, yeah. When you remove these obstacles, right? These things that have been causing you nothing but blockages. When you learn how to remove it, and you let go, you're gonna welcome in some great things. So just know there are some blessings coming in. And keep in mind, not every loss is really a loss. Sometimes you gain, okay? It could be a win, depending on how you look at it. Just keep that in mind. So with all that said, you guys have a great rest of your evening. And, we're about to be back to the grind, a lot of us, right? If you're doing the 9 to 5, kind of work kind of shit. So hopefully get some rest. And hopefully Monday is a good start for your week. And yeah, until next time, I love you. You guys have a great rest of your night. And if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, hit that like button and subscribe if you resonated with this reading. You can also check out the other stuff that I've been posting and stuff like that to see if there's any other messages for you. See if this is your vibe, and if it is, stick around. There's gonna be more readings coming. So with all that said, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Mwah. Good night.